an inside role. In other games, they've been able to get her on the outside a little bit, and Britt Bonici will play that inside role a little bit more, but she'll play a bit more inside. So where's that outside run going to come from? But she's certainly a tremendous player, certainly a wonderful captain in the game, and her women will look to her tonight for a bit more leadership too.
So we cannot wait for this contest. We're a few moments away from the opening bounce. AFLW is on every day except Mondays until mid-October. It's Tuesday night footy under lights, and we'll have the opening bounce coming up next.
In 1985, my grandfather set out to make the world a better team.
And welcome in, everybody. It's game day again. Big match tonight. AFLW action here. We've got Collingwood, the mighty Magpies, taking on the West Coast Eagles. It's the battle of the birds tonight. Who's going to win this game? Well, that's a game we're going to have to wait for because it's not too far away. Let me try and straighten this up. Oh, that's better. There we go. Of course, this has been played at IKON Park here in Melbourne. A nice ground that they're going to play. Let's just have a little bit of a look at the lineups. And of course, Collingwood, we got Morris coming in and Taylor. Going out is Bonici and Fowler. Big out there in Bonici. There we go. Schultz and Livingston are the fullbacks. Allen, Schneider, Cronin the halfbacks. The centres are Rowe, Khan, Blair, half forwards, Campbell, Barnett and Porter. Of course, the forwards, Brazil, James, and of course the followers are Frederick, Davey and Atkinson. There we go. So not all. In for the West Coast Eagles, we've got Simons coming in and Gooch going out. Goranova, Bushby, full-backs. Wrench, Schilling, half-backs. Swanson, Thomas, Wakefer, and of course the centres are Simons, Lewis, Britton, Wakefer, Gibson and Weston are the half forwards. The forwards are Franklin and Hosking. Followers are Lakey, Roberts, Baker. There is the teams. There is the lineups, folks, for today's game. I'll just try and bring that up a little bit. Go. Just try and get that a little bit. Carly, how you going? Welcome in. Els, what's going on, Squire? What's going on? Getting pretty excited about the Sydney game coming up, which is not too far away. The old Sydney game, you little beauty. I think we're all looking forward to that one. Definitely all looking forward to that one, Al. The Sydney Port Adelaide game. I think Sydney might get over the line in that game. Absolutely. I think they might be just a little bit too strong. Let me just try and straighten this up a little bit. Wobble that around. Ryan, g'day, mate. What's happening? G'day, Tati. Welcome in, young fella. Good to see you. We just got a little bit of AFL action here tonight. Should be a good game aboard. Should be a good game aboard. Now, let's just have a look. Let's have a look at the ladder and see where these two teams actually sit on the ladder. And of course, West Coast Eagles, there they sit after 3 rounds. They got 2 wins and 1 loss. Well, there we go. 2 wins and 1 loss. They're sitting 8th on the ladder. And the poor old Pies, they're down here in 17th spot. Three games, no wins. Looking to change that up a little bit tonight. So let's hope they can do that tonight. We certainly need a victory there for the Pies to get them on the board, get their season off and running, which would be absolutely fantastic. We're only about a minute and, just under 2 minutes before the start of the game. Don't forget to vote, folks. Who do you think's going to win this game tonight? Is it going to be the mighty Magpies or the West Coast Eagles? Is it going to be the Magpies or Eagles? The battle of the bird. So should be good fun. I don't know who's going to win. You be the judge. You let us know who you think's going to win. As always, I'm going for the Pies. I'm going for the Pies because I'm a Pie supporter. So that's who we're going for here. I hope everyone else is going for the Maggies as well. That should be good stuff. Let's have a little bit of a look down here in the chat. Let me just say welcome into everyone. Welcome into everyone. There we go. Taddy, what's going on? How's your day? Hope you're going to have a good afternoon there. Good stuff. Ryan, what's happening? Did you get out for a walk today? I was out today, so I didn't get up on YT today at all. Who might win this game? Says Al Friday night. I think Sydney will win that one. I think Sydney. You know what? I don't see Port bringing that much pressure again 2 weeks in a row. So I think you should do Hawthorn and St Kilda. Hawthorn and St Kilda. Let me have a look. When are they on? I'll probably do them. That's Saturday. Yes, Saturday, 2:05 p.m. I should cover another game tomorrow. Tomorrow night, Brisbane Lions, Western Bulldogs. Thursday night, Richmond Carlton. Friday night, North Melbourne, Port Adelaide. And then straight after that game will be the big game, Sydney taking on Port Adelaide. So that should be an absolute cracker. So that should be pretty good there. All being well, it should be pretty good. All right. Anyway, that's enough for me. I'm going to take us down to the commentators as they take us into the opening quarter.
Battle on our hands. Sabrina Frederick, what a season she's having so far. And look at that game face. It's on tonight. She's starting in the middle against LeKay for the West Coast Eagles. Here we go at IKON Park. It's Collingwood taking on West Coast. Frederick gets the first decisive tap of the evening. Davey chasing after it. She got a free for a push in the back. An advantage is paid as Can sends him inside 50 for the first time through the hands of Allen, who's playing up forward. Porter has a run at it. Campbell, she was so impressive last week against Brisbane. Gets the hand pass out, then turns tackler. One of many we might see tonight. 17 tackles she had against the Lions last week, Shai.
Yeah, it was fantastic effort. Just on that switch around the magnets there, Jess. Allen up forward, I like it.
Porter got boot to ball. And we're going to have a secondary ball up.
Allen's one of the best reads of the game in the competition, and they've had, I think they've had some troubles finding targets up forward, so good move.
Schilling and Ruck, the Rising Star nominee, palms it down. Lewis overran it, picked up by Barnett. Hand pass couldn't find a target. Can goes in, back to Davies, slips a tackle on the right boot towards the teeth of goal. James the target, and it goes through for a rushed behind.
On that too, Shiloh, West Coast have great intercept defenders, so having that taller marking option in Allen is a good move by Collingwood.
Picking from Thomas. It's a good one, and here's Britton, who marks, half back for the Eagles. West Coast have only played one game here at IKON Park in their history. In season 7 against Geelong, they went down by 9 points that night. Drubers work it to the outer wing, they've turned it over. Rowe picks it up. And ball to Frederick, needs to get rid of it and does. Davey, a couple of touches early. Collingwood go back inside forward 50. And there's the intercept marking you were speaking about, Bonnie, as Schilling takes an early grab and 50.
Yeah, the game against Essendon 2 weeks ago got a Rising Star nomination, and her intercept marking was in fine form that day, and we see why. She's able to drop off her opponent and get in really good spots in the oppo. If they kick it quickly and blindly, it's most likely going into her hands.
So a couple of opportunities early for Collingwood inside forward 50. What can West Coast manufacture? The kick out wide off hands. Can. Hand pass is intercepted. Franklin snaps around the corner. A bouncing ball inside forward 50. Can they get it out the back, the Eagles? Willing it forward. Waitfer against Brazali. He gets boot to ball to Livingston. Has some space. Kick partially smothered. Good pressure from the Eagles. Brazali picks it up, kicks it to the outer side. Just had a little bit too much on it for Barnett. Now in a one-on-one with Schilling. The cavalry arrive. They all dive on top of the footy. The umpire's circling and is going to call holding the ball. You can feel the intensity early out there, Shiloh. There's Rowe down the line to Allen, slips the tackle. Kicks up towards half forward to a one-on-one. It gets up the back, Blair. Went without it. Still alive for the Pies. James can get on the right. She snaps towards an open goal, and Collingwood strike first at IKON Park.
Well, terrific work there by the Magpies. They'd done all the work early, a couple of repeated inside 50 efforts. Weren't able to get some reward for that. But I loved what they did across the back half. Nice and deep in defence. Just got good numbers down there. And the way in which they were able to bring the ball football. Lovely long kicking too. Really loved the use of that. Geordie Allen just so smart. The ball came through her hands for that all-important inside 50 kick into space. And they were able to finish so well.
That was our Chemist Warehouse goal replay. Eliza James, her first goal of season 2024. And Bonnie, this is just the start that Collingwood were after.
It is the start they needed, and with Eliza James as well, who we know is a live wire up forward with them, and as they go inside 50 now.
Atkinson, the long bomb, and they've got a mark inside the arc. It's Barnett has floated back with the flight of the ball. That was a quick centre clearance.
So 2 in a row, 3 clearances so far. Nothing yet for the Eagles. They're really dominating those stoppages.
Imogen Barnett has kicked 7 career behinds. Hasn't kicked a goal in the AFLW yet, and she breaks the drought. 2 in a row to the Pies.
Imogen Barnett is definitely someone that I thought needed to step up for the Pies up forward, and how exciting kicking that goal. Had 7 behinds prior to, and to kick a goal, and this mark coming back with the flight. But Geordie Allen again being able to hold that space for Barnett to fly into is really selfless work, but great hands above head, and to settle herself and go back and dog the goal is exactly what Collingwood needed.
The 29-year-old out of Collingwood's VFLW program was the VFLW best and fairest and leading goal kicker in 2021. She debuted in 2022 at AFLW level and gets her first career goal. This is a hot start to the Pies indeed, and they might get out of the middle of it. That's a really good tackle on Atkinson, and they'll draw the free kick here. Ella Roberts, such a fantastic young star of this competition. And I want a big game from her tonight. Gibson. Called to play on. Kicks it to a big contest at half forward for the Eagles. Roberts, who floated forward, got hands to it, couldn't reel it in. Frederick. The hand pass broken up. Roberts goes in again. Britton dragged down by Campbell. But it was high contact, so it's going to be a free kick to the Eagles.
I didn't mind that build-up there by the Eagles. They're just nice and slow. Collingwood are doing a really good job to man up around the field. So I love the fact that she went nice and long to a really good contest there. The forward pressure was there. They're able to try and keep the footy inside 50. They drew the free kick there through the sling tackle. Now they've got a shot on goal. Nice work by the Eagles.
So Collingwood have started brightly tonight at IKON Park. Can the Eagles respond and give themselves an early confidence boost? Britton, the kick, is on its way. And it's either marked or touched. I think that's going to be a mark to Sabrina Frederick. She's done that many times before.
Loving her through the midfield this year. Just the desire to get her further up the ground, use the height, use the strength, the smarts of Sabs. Great move.
Lovely kick down the line to James from Campbell. Kicked the first goal tonight, Eliza James. Barnett made a contest from behind. Can Rose tumbles a kick forward. Will bounce in front of Blair, who'll collect. Give it to Porter. Absolutely nobody inside forward 50 for the Pies. Now the race is on. Well done from Wakefup. Exits the danger zone, but it might be coming back. Remos stripped to the footy. It's close to the line. Hosking goes in. And it is out of play. Let's check in with Bryony Dawson downstairs. Bryony, we've had wind, sunshine, hail and rain in Melbourne over the last few days or so. What are we in for tonight?
I see the drama coming from you there, Jess, but no, to perfect conditions here tonight, actually. It's a little bit dewy on the grass, but you'll see the shots there now. The moon is looking absolutely wonderful tonight. It is a full moon and great playing conditions here at IKON Park.
You don't fall for any of my tricks, Bryony, over it downstairs. And, the Eagles got a free kick at half-back. Ali Drennan has been in great form for her new club in 2024.
Yeah, absolutely. Great experience too. Been playing her 56th game this evening, of course, her 4th club.
Kicks to the wing. Lewis involved. Free kick for a hold. Going the way of Thomas.
You talk about her numbers, Jess, 18 disposals, 11 of them contested. Such a hard-working player.
Former best and fairest winner at the Suns, Ali Drennan. Good pick-up for the Eagles this year. Contest at half-forward for West Coast, and we've got a ball up.
See those contested possession numbers on the screen just now, 17-9. Collingwood really playing hard footy.
Drennan wrapped up by Campbell. Ball spits out to Simmons. Look out, Cincinnati got her and will be rewarded. Wearing the long sleeves tonight and 50-metre penalty. And if they move it quickly here, Collingwood, they might get out the back. Ellery Morris is screaming for it inside 50. Cincinnati will bomb it long in her direction. One-on-one with Gooch. Had to turn spoiler. And now the ball up inside 50.
Ended up being a great contest there. Sometimes when you're in the wrong position as a forward, you just need to get the ball to ground.
Cleaver palms it down. We'll do it all again.
You see there that inside 50 tackle count 11-3 going the way of Collingwood.
Cincinnati and ruck. Davey tracking after it, just shrugs the tackle. Pure strength from Davey, skies it to full forward. Gooch the spoil, Porter will boot a ball close to the line, and Wakefers tackled over and will have a ball in. So some good forward pressure shown by the Pies early.
Just West Coast not able to get much of the footy. Collingwood a plus 18 on the disposal count, more than double the ball use of West Coast. So all Pies so far.
Cincinnati wins the tap. Hosking. It was that Swanson effect, head over the ball. Eagles trying to exit their defensive half at the moment. Weston couldn't take it with her. Goes in again. Frederick out the back. To Brazali, a hurried kick into the pocket for Collingwood. That's a wonderful mark from Wakefer. Wins the one-on-one. And finds Hosking in space at half-back. Will work it down the line. Franklin the target, knocked away from her. Well done by Jordan Ivey, who's one of the injury replacement players, the train-on players, the top-ups.
Also playing at their 4th club.
All of the above.
What a journey she's had. Fantastic to still see her in the game.
Collingwood a long injury list for them in 2024. It's been tough in the opening rounds for them, but they've started strongly here tonight. Ball to be won on the wing. Cam just hand passes to space. Smith first there, but run down by Porter. Umpire called play on. It's picked up by Schilling, and now Drennan. Backwards to Swanson. Kick touched. Close to the line. And goes out of play.
It seems like Collingwood have a real intent to press forward and pressure really highly, and it's really putting the West Coast Eagles on the back foot at the moment.
Great to see Darcy Moore, the Collingwood captain, here at IKON Park tonight, enjoying Tuesday night footy here in the AFLW. Of course, the next 4 weeks, we're going to have midweek footy AFLW on every night except for Mondays and the AFL Men's Grand Final. From the stoppage, Collingwood win it. Oh, the kick up to half forward is a turnover. Smith to Drennan. To a contest on the wing. Hosking, wonderful collect. Kicks over the head of Wakeford in attack. Livingston's there for the Pies. She'll get there first. Kicks to space, close to the line. Franklin picks it up, tackled by Livingston.
That was excellent work there by Livingston. Read the place so well, was able to track back, got a pretty big turning circle, Livingston, and then able to just kick for touch and follow up on that kick for not a lasso free kick.
These 36-year-old legs, perhaps not as fast as they once were, but she gets out of danger, Livingston.
Still very serviceable, Jess.
Absolutely. Here's Cleaver, can send the Eagles into attack. A centering kick to the corridor to a one-on-one almost. A fantastic work by Gibson, who did the body work and couldn't complete the mark. Skies it to full forward. Wakeford wrestles with Livingston, still alive. Can Drennan get onto her right? She does it. High up and under to the goal square. Plenty of numbers around the footy. Weston is tackled. Got a ball up.
West Coast needs some time in their forward half, so I'm intrigued to see how they're going to keep this ball inside their forward 50. The pressure needs to remain high.
Deep into attack for the Eagles. Rowe gets bootable. Davey crashes in hard. Almost for the boundary line is D. Donato. Hugged up against the boundary line. The kick around the corner is absolutely not quite there. I was getting ready for it. That looked pretty good off the boot.
Of course, she kicked her first goal last week, Jess, and there was quite a celebration.
Kicked the winning goal last week. D. Donato against the Dogs. Just fading late. The Pies have some space on the outer side. Rowe wants to use the corridor. Davey comes bursting through. They go inside 50 again. Sansonetti has a couple to beat. Di Donato. Have a ball up.
Well, we talked about where was the ball use going to come from with Benici out of the team, and Sarah Rose really stepped up. She's had 6 touches tonight already.
Ken. Davey. Backtracks with the handball. Barnett. Taylor back into the lineup tonight. Brazzali ran into a brick wall in Hosking.
Collingwood seem to be able to move the ball with ease at the moment, particularly through the corridor, and then once they get over halfway, they're really able to slingshot into their forward 50, maybe not quite hitting those inside 50 kicks just yet, but they're still getting that territory that West Coast can't seem to stop.
Free kick going the way of Atkinson. Pies go forward again to a contest. Barnett has coughed it up. The Eagles back the other way. Hurried kick to half forward. First picked up by Shooty. Ivy against Wakeford, who won the one-on-one. Scrubs the kick inside forward 50 for the Eagles. Running after it is Cleaver against Brazzali. Gibson close to the line. Cronin after her. She keeps it alive, Gibson. Couple of efforts. And skies it to the pocket. Weston in the contest. Hosking back with a flight.
That was really smart play to just keep the ball alive. You have the license in forward 50 to do so, and just to get the ball deep, and a great mark by Jess Hosking, but that work from Kelly Gibson was very impressive.
Jess Hosking in new colours this season, kicked a couple of goals in her club debut on round 1. It's going to be a tough shot from the pocket to get the Eagles on the board. She knows this ground well, does Jess Hosking, as she slots the first for the Eagles.
That was a great team goal there by West Coast. They've done a lot of work, had to sort of withstand the onslaught from the Magpies, easily carving through the corridor. But the ability to then just track the footy back, they had some great runners, and when they got it inside 50, they were able to apply the pressure. Really good contested work by the Eagles, and as you said, Bon, just be able to keep the ball alive inside 50, hope and pray something nice and deep. You can pull something out of the contested situation. Hosking did that, and she finished.
Jess Hosking has started brightly for the Eagles tonight. A couple of disposals, a goal, 3 tackles as well. It was just the response the Eagles were after Collingwood kicked the first couple of goals in the opening 5 minutes. Back in the middle we go. Drennan trying to break the Campbell tackle. Umpire says holding the ball. Free kick to the Pies.
Geordie Ellen's just gone back behind the footy. She was a +1 at that stoppage in defence.
Knocked away from Barnett. Roberts. Kicks for territory. Out to meet it, Lewis. To half forward. Allen back with the fly to the ball. Wakefer makes the contest. Lewis trying to palm off Brazali. Gets up the back to Drennan. Pokes the kick into the pocket. Looking for Hosking! Couldn't complete the mark. Play on's a call. Can Lewis keep it alive? Close to the boundary line. And it eventually goes out of play. They're getting a few looks now, the Eagles. Hosking almost. Another mark to her. A minute to go in this opening quarter. Entertaining stuff here at IKON Park. Pies looking for their first win of 2024. The Eagles on back-to-back wins for the first time in their history. Barnett comes down the line past Morris. Thomas, although whistle on play for a hold. Free kick Collingwood. Can they go the length of the ground? Looking for some running support. Slasher. The top to James is caught and run down by Schilling. Great stuff from the Rising Star nominee.
I read there, they realised that Collingwood want to move the footy forward by hand, and she was so onto it.
Aggressive kick into the corridor. Swanson rises high, takes a nice mark. 21 seconds on the clock. Swanson down the corridor, looking for Roberts. Gets past her, Allen. Sends it back the other way. Free kick for a hold. Morris wanted to take off. It should be brought back.
You often see sides put a +1 down in their defensive half to just make sure the team doesn't score any red time goals, and Allen definitely put herself in that position at the moment.
She's probably saved a couple, you'd think, one of those last little purple patch that the Eagles have had.
Got to move it quickly. Collingwood, can they get a mark here? What a wonderful kick! And Porter's out to meet it. She'll bomb it long. The siren will beat her. And that marks the end of an entertaining first quarter of footy here. The first time we've had Tuesday night footy in the AFLW, and what a contest we have at quarter time. It is Collingwood 2-1-13, leading West Coast 1-1-7.
All right, quarter times here at IKON Park, and it's the mighty Magpies leading the way 2-1-13, leading the Eagles 1-1-7. Mr. T, good to see you in, brother. Good to see you. Thanks, Teddy, hanging in there. Ryan, good stuff, young fella. Riley, go Eagles. He's saying go Eagles. I'm saying go Pies. There we go. Ice, baby. Thanks for coming in, dropping the like. Appreciate that. Still at work. Well, son of all. Hope you're having a good day at work there. Pies leading quick. Let's celebrate, says Halfwit. I'll tell you what, Halves. It'll be a big celebration. It's been a while since we've seen the Pies win a game. And, of course, Paul coming in just in time. A game on Tuesday. Yeah, they've got a game. I think they've got a game every day apart from the Monday. Leading up until the grand final. I think that's what they were saying. Yeah, we've got games on... we've got game on tomorrow night, Brisbane and Western Bulldogs. Thursday night, Richmond, Carlton. Friday night, North Melbourne, Port Adelaide, followed by the big preliminary match between Sydney and Port Adelaide. Of course, Saturday, we've got Gold Coast and Geelong. Saturday afternoon, 2 o'clock, St Kilda Hawthorn. Fremantle, Melbourne also on Saturday. Sunday, Adelaide, Essendon. And can you believe it? Sunday, the Magpies play again. Collingwood and the Bulldogs. And then they got footy on every day. That's fantastic. We love it. We love the footy. Anyway, a good start to the Pies. The Pies came out of the gate. They look really good. They look strong. They look clean. They look like they had a purpose here tonight playing this game. It's the best I've seen them play all season. Absolutely. Defending well. Of course, the Eagles struggled to get it over there, into their forward 50 for the first part of that quarter, but then they found a little bit of mojo, got down there, had a few chances down there 50. So the game tended to even out just a little bit halfway through that second part of that first quarter. But Brianna Davey there leading the way with 8 for the Magpies there. 3 kicks, 5 handballs, 2 tackles. Sarah Rowe on 6 with Khan Barnett. Of course, Alison Drennan is the leading disposal getter on the ground for West Coast Eagles with just a 5. Frederick there with 4. We just keep going down there. We'll get to the goal kickers in just a moment. Jess Hoskins there just with the 3. 3 kicks for the goal there for the Eagles. Tell you what, football every night this week. It's going to be a cracker. We should be here to follow all the games AFLW on this during this week. Should be pretty good. 3 goal scorers for the match so far. Of course, Eliza James, Imogen Barnett there for the Pies, both single goal scorers. And of course, Jess Hosking is the only single goal scorer there for the Eagles. Let's have a look at the team stats. I would have thought the Magpies would be in front in this department so far. 59, 42, 17 up on the Eagles. Kicks a little bit the same, the handballs. Pies linking up. 25-7. Inside 50s. Well, there we go. That's, well, I suppose 11-6. Pies by 5 there. That was all early on in that first part of that quarter, and then the game sort of evened itself out, and West Coast got a little bit of run there. 61-57. Disposal efficiency, not too bad there for the girls. Of course, inside 50 efficiency, well, 3 scoring shots for 11 inside 50s for the Pies. That's why it's 18%. Of course, the Eagles look a little bit better there at 50% because they've only been in 6 times for 3 scoring shots. Hit-outs, Pies well in front there as the clearances, centre clearances, stoppage clearances. Contested possessions are up by 9 there, 14 in the uncontested. They're finding space, getting that run going. They're actually looking reasonably good. It's good to see the girls handling the ball clean tonight, so that is fantastic. Good to see the tackles. Well, the tackles, as I said before, Pies look like they're on a mission in this game. 21 tackles to 13. Of course, tackles inside 50. Got to love that. 10-2. All right, folks, we're going to take you back down to the ground for the bounce of the ball for the second quarter. Go Pies! There's a few people in here cheering for the Pies. Of course, we've got one for the Eagles. All right, folks, let's head back down to the ground for the bounce of the ball. We'll take you into the second quarter.
Yeah, definitely. I think the intent of urgency was absolutely there. I think what I'm most proud of at the moment is our game system starting to come through, and we're using the hands a little bit more and looking a little bit more dangerous going forward as well.
And plenty of inside 50s, but West Coast still able to take a few of those defensive marks. How do you tackle that in the next quarter?
Yeah, I think we've a couple of our entries have fallen a bit shallow, and again, they're trying to possess the footy. So hopefully you see this quarter, 50-70 out, we'll try and attack the last line a little bit more.
Awesome. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you to Bryony and Sam downstairs. Second quarter about to get underway. The Pies in that opening quarter, Bonnie, they had, looking at the inside 50s, 11-6. So they had a lot of opportunities in attack and 6 points ahead at the first change.
They did have a lot of opportunity, and that was through their clearance work as well and being able to hold on to their territory. What Sam was talking about there is just shallow entries, and the West Coast defenders were able to come in and come off an intercept. So let's see if we can see some deeper entries moving forward.
Look at the clearance here, the Eagles. Kick out to space in front of Western. They shoot it for company. He wins the footy, gives it to Can. Under pressure, Brazali. Lewis goes in again. Lakay scrubs a kick forward. Western against Shooty, who goes to ground. Cronin. Drennan with a tackle on Brazali. Squeezes a kick forward. That's good forward pressure shown by the Eagles, and Lewis can send them inside 50. Centre and kick. Hosking makes a contest from the side against Slasher. Gibson, boot to ball. Western trying to break free. Umpire calls play on. Davey taps it backwards to Frederick on the last line of defence. Happy to see it over.
I'm really loving the energy of Kelly Gibson around front and centre at the moment. Really electric, and also being able to get the ball to boot really quickly.
Livingston with the kick in. Off hands, can.
You see the
French
use
ensuring that goes nowhere.
You see the use of the long kick from Collingwood. It's been really present in their game throughout the first 3 rounds. Just using it to get some territory quite easily.
Free kick to Lewis. Centering ball's a good one. Britton. Hand pass over the top. Di Donato from 50. Into the pocket for Franklin. Beautiful delivery.
She's a lovely player, isn't she, Di Donato? Just looks like she's been playing the game out there at this level for years. Just so composed, comfortable. Her ability to finish. She's got great presence. Really love what she brings.
A replacement player signing was Di Donato for Dana Hooker. Who will sit out 2024. As she prepares to welcome a child to the world. But here is Amy Franklin on the approach to give West Coast the lead. It's across the face.
It was really dangerous ball movement by West Coast there, changing lanes and then being able to find forwards in one-on-one positions, and that's really dangerous and puts opposition defenders on edge.
Cronin over the head of Barnett. West Coast are well set. Campbell held up. Franklin and McKay tangle and run. Di Donato doing a lot of numbers around this footy. It's a hard ball to be won. Gets out the back. Can take it high. Off to Rowe. He's found a bit of it early. Down the line. Knocked away from James. It's over and out.
Not bad here from Collingwood. Just being able to slow the game down a little bit, but maintain possession of all these stoppages.
So West Coast players gone down behind play, and so it's going to be a downfield free to West Coast. Campbell looks like she may be the guilty party. Okay, dishes it off. Thomas. Oh, big contest at half forward. Bodies on the line. And there's a Collingwood player down.
Looks like it's Bree Davey.
It might be Bree Davey. It was a heavy collision indeed. We might just have to hold up play here as the trainers run out to the field. Oh yeah, just back into the congestion.
Never fun.
She's a tough customer, Bree Davey, and she'll come to the bench for some treatment and to get checked out. No malice in that, I don't think.
All the right things, just a regulation contest. You got to drop back in when the opportunity's there in the hole, knowing that a leading forward is coming at you.
She's such an inspirational figure, Bree Davey.
It's probably not what Collingwood need right now, though.
I can't afford to lose her. Already, Britt Bonici's out tonight with a calf injury. Injuries continue to mount for the Pies. They win it from the stoppage here. Ramos looking for Shooty. It comes away the Eagles. Lewis sends it to full forward. A one-on-one. Livingston against Franklin. Coming through. Slash at the defender. Giving it off to Livingston. I got my geography wrong for a moment there. I thought that was Slasher moving forward. We had Geordie Allen moving forward in the first quarter. I wasn't sure where we were, what was happening.
Always throws you when they put defenders in the forward line. You never know which way you're kicking.
This is certainly in West Coast forward 50 at the moment. And pressing, they've had four inside 50s to none so far in this quarter. Free kick for arm chop. Gibson to take the free for the Eagles and have another look at goal.
As you said, Jess, it was repeat inside 50s for West Coast, and it does put the defenders for Collingwood under pressure, and that's when you start seeing the mistakes and potentially free kicks given.
Kelly Gibson loves a goal too, knows how to find the footy, knows how to put pressure on opposition players as well, draw those free kicks.
31 goals in her AFLW career, 2 so far in 2024. This is an important one. This will put West Coast in front. She gets the job done. And as you mentioned, Shai, she loves a celebration.
She does love a celebration. It takes one to know one, I suppose. But that was fantastic. She's been really electric, actually, in this quarter, but even in the first quarter as well. So she gets a reward there and a sloppy free kick, I suppose, by Schleicher in the end, and gets a nice set shot in front of goal.
We just saw a moment ago, just Bree Davey around the boundary. It looks like she's going off for an assessment as well.
So a developing story here. Let's get down to Bryony Dawson. What can you tell us about Bree Davey?
Not too much more than what Shiloh just said, guys. Bree Davey was just sitting on the bench for a little spell, not receiving much attention at all, and then they just indicated they were going to head down into the club rooms, and that's where they're off to.
Thank you, Bryony. So Bree Davey down in the rooms to be assessed. The Pies win it out of the middle, looking for a response, and that is a beautiful delivery to Eliza James on the lead. Grace Campbell out of the middle, hits her on the chest.
Well, if there's one thing Grace Campbell can do, there's probably two things she can do. She can find the footy and she can tackle you if you've got it. And there was a beautiful exit from that stoppage.
Eliza James kicked the opening goal of the game. This for the instant reply to Collingwood. Doesn't have the accuracy. Still alive in the pocket. Geordie Allen centers the kick. Ramos. Picked up by Gooch to Di Donato. Work it out, Smith, her kick smothered. Di Donato goes in again. Scrap for it at half forward, Blair involved. Eventually the boundary line beats them all.
Good work by the Pies. Eagles had a lot more numbers at the ball then, and the Pies were able to just keep it trapped in. They've got a stoppage on top of their 50.
Pies kicked the first two goals of the game. West Coast have kicked the next two either side of quarter time. They've taken the lead by 2 points in the second quarter. Ball at half forward for Collingwood. Lewis, high contact. Coming up for disposal, number 9. Hooks it short to Swanson. To Smith, down the line. Britton. Looking for an option. Wind up and kick it long down the line. At the back, Wakefer trying to slap it forward. Frederick, head over the footy. Gets out to Blair. Unsure where to go initially. Skies it into the centre. James is involved. Now Allen comes through for the Pies. And she's tackled by Wakefer.
You can definitely see the method of West Coast and the build-up they're wanting from their back half. Not quite being able to execute over the forward half, but definitely that slow build-up and exit out of D50.
Rowe jams it on the boot. It's turned over.
I don't mind that, Bonnie. I really like seeing young sides just really try and think their way through a game.
Excellent kick from Wakeford to Drennan at half forward. We'll kick it into the pocket. The long lead of Franklin, and she's on the end of it.
Just the patience. I really enjoy the patience. Like, really respect what's been done upfield to get the football down here. So let's not waste our disposals. Just a really nice, patient build-up. So wait for the lead, wait for the separation.
She's got a finger out of place here, poor Amy Franklin.
Yeah,
doesn't look
fun.
good.
Never fun.
Nope. She's going to take a kick. To extend the Eagles' lead. That looks so superb off the boot. Brilliant.
That was well patient build-up by West Coast there, and I completely agree with you, Shiloh. You love to see sides think through, particularly the inside 50 kick, and the power of work that Amy Franklin did prior to this 20-metre lead was really impressive, was working over Stacey Livingston to make sure that she could get the separation she needed in order for that kick to be to the advantage, and then slots a perfect goal. It looked like it was going in the second it came off her boot.
So Amy Franklin hurt her finger, slotted the goal, now has come to the bench to get that sorted out. West Coast have dominated the second quarter so far. The Pies by 6 at the first break. West Coast had the only 2 goals of the second quarter and the last 3 in the game. Bree Davies still in the rooms, getting assessed. We'll keep you updated with that. So we've got another stoppage in the middle. 7 minutes to go in the opening half. Barnett over the top. Umpire calls for it. Such a horror run with injury, the Pies so far. Now it's holding the ball. They're still up for the fight, the Pies. Sarah Rowe's been good tonight. Leading the way with 9 disposals now for Collingwood. Up to half forward to Campbell. Just slips over. Brazali. Atkinson against Hosking. Cleaver, Lewis wrapped up, gets the handball out. Livingston overran it. Weston off the deck. Wakefer through her hands. Cleaver. Brought to a halt.
Pies needed to stick that tackle then. If not, it was out. Just a little bit inaccurate by hand, the Pies. You can see what they're trying to do, but just sometimes their execution doesn't come off.
Game evenly poised at the moment. Lewis finding some space on the wing. Bouncing footy up to half forward. Roberts, oh, so clean. Slips the Cronin tackle, sends it inside 50. A genuine star of the competition is Gibson. To a dangerous position, West in the target, knocked away from her. But Ella Roberts, that is a sign of what's to come in her career. I cannot wait for the next 10 or 15 years or so. Slasher. Hooks the kick around the corner, but the Pies defence are under pressure. Gets out to Wrench. Toe pokes it forward. Slasher attacks it. Can. High contact. That will relieve some of the pressure for the Collingwood defence.
With Ella Roberts, it's that breakaway speed, but under pressure being able to hit targets. That's what's so impressive about the way she plays.
And even the decision there, Bonnie, to go short as opposed to go kick deep and long. So just that composure to pull up, see there's a loose one rather than just go nice and deep, just to maintain possession. Just so clever.
So I think we might have a blood rule here. So Sarah Rowe coming to the bench. So I'm just holding up play for a moment. Into the last 5 minutes of the second quarter here. It's been all West Coast in this quarter. 2-2. Pies yet to score. They started so brightly, a couple of goals in the opening 5 minutes, but West Coast have steady. This one closely lined. Kept alive by Drennan. Looking for Lewis. Cam comes across and kills the contest. Now getting some treatment on the bench.
They want to get her back on the field as soon as possible. She is their leading possession winner. And of course, with Bree Davey off with an assessment at the moment. Significantly undermanned in that midfield, the Pies.
Ball in on the wing. Frederick and McKay. Down to Lewis. Scrubs it forward. It's good one-on-one battle. Won by Ivy. Playing at a 4th AFLW club. Flares the kick out wide to Brazali. Will wind up and bomb it long. Contest on the wing. Morris. James. It's a few to beat. In goes Thomas. She's wrapped up. Have a ball up.
Yeah, nice second effort there by James.
How do you feel the contest is placed at the moment, Shai?
Well, I think it feels a bit nil-all drawish. you might think that, the West Coast Eagles have had a fair bit of ascendancy in this quarter, but the Pies are hanging in there. They're undermanned, as we said, through the middle of the ground, and we've just been able to fight back here, and now getting a forward 50 or a forward half entry.
These next 3 minutes are really important. Bree Davey and Sarah Rowe has been good tonight. They're off at the moment.
You can't afford another one, you'd think.
Just want to get to halftime, you feel at the moment. Collingwood. Roberts keeps the ball alive, and another beautiful kick. Mark has dropped at the last moment by Britton. She follows up at ground level, tries to find Lewis, who's tackled and spun to the ground by Ken, and that was illegal, so it'll be a free kick to Lewis. 12 disposals to her name tonight.
Been exceptional, Lewis, so far.
Swanson. Runs in board, kicks it to a big pack inside forward 50. Pinballing around in there, Gibson over the top. Let's get down to Bryony Dawson.
Amy Franklin has just come back on the ground for West Coast. She's still propping up that hand. It doesn't look like it's too good. Getting a jarring like that on a cold night is never going to feel good.
Certainly not, but she's powering on. Amy Franklin kicked a beautiful goal in this quarter. Franklin, the big tap down, or Frederick rather, to Ken. Pies exit defensive 50. Allen, got to get rid of her. She slips a couple of tackles. Pass couldn't find a target. It's broken up by Swanson.
There's a lovely takeaway from that defensive stoppage there. Big tap from Frederick out to Campbell. They knew exactly where each other were.
Sarah Rowe back out onto the field. Straight into this contest. It's a minute and a half to go here in the first half. Only 2 goals of the quarter to West Coast.
So inside 50s this quarter, 7-1 in favour of West Coast. It's been all one-way traffic.
Dominated the territory. Di Donato squeezes a kick forward. Bouncing footy. Here's Ella Roberts against Cronin. The 2 youngsters go at it. Roberts to full forward. Wait for it, a one-on-one against Livingston. Livingston toe pokes it forward. Cronin gets the handball out. Drennan had a fumble. Ball is held to her. You see Cronin, a bright young player for the Pies, kept Dakota Davidson goalless last week in just a 3rd AFLW game. Impressive stuff.
Yeah, I really like her composure as well too, Jess. You look at these young kids, and here's another player that's probably getting an opportunity defensively that maybe, should Collingwood not have those injuries, she wouldn't get those chances. So she'll be better for this year.
A chance for Simmons, but she was dispossessed, and that's a free kick. So the Pies are desperately holding on here. West Coast have had the momentum in this second quarter. Bree Davies off the ground getting a head injury assessment at the moment. So they're currently a player down. Nice mark on the outer side to Barnett. Frederick, hands to it, taking the mark. No one inside forward 50, but she has Sarah Rowe running for it. Inside forward 50, the kick didn't quite come off. Eagles defence can work it out. Bucker. Searching kick to the wing. Well done, Slasher. Is there time for one late one for the Pies? Bangs it forward to a contest. Eagles have the numbers, Smith. And they can work it out. Smart kick into space. Well, they're coming through like a steam train is Livingston. On the halftime siren. An entertaining first half of footy here at IKON Park. It's Tuesday night footy in the AFLW, and it is West Coast who have an 8-point lead at the main break. 3-3-21, leading Collingwood 2-1-13.
Well, halftime, folks, at the footy, and it's the West Coast Eagles taking the lead, 3-3-21 to the Pies, 2-1-13. The Pies unable to score in the second quarter. The West Coast put on 2 goals too. They took control of the game in that quarter, did the West Coast Eagles, and they look pretty good. Pies just need to keep on doing what they're doing, and things will hopefully get back to where they were back in the first quarter. Should be pretty good. Addy G, what's going on, Squire? No boo Pies. It's all yay Pies here. No go West Coast, go Pies. Santa, I tell you what, that's not a bad evening down there. It's only 7 degrees, of course, in Melbourne. 7 degrees Celsius. She's a pretty cool night, but look, it's a good night for footy. There's no wind. It's not raining out there, so it's a good night for footy under lights. The girls are putting on a good game. Handling the ball clean, as I said before, so it's a good spectacle to watch. Let's just have a look at the disposal getter. Coming up to half-time, and of course, Isabel Lewis jumps up into that position on 13 disposals, 10 kicks, 3 handballs, 1 mark, 1 tackle. There we go. For the Pies, it's Sarah Rowe on top with 11. Went off the ground with a little bit of a bump on the nose, bit of a blood rule there. She'll get that patched up and she'll be back on the ground for the third quarter. 10 kicks, 1 handball, 2 marks, 4 tackles. Doing a little bit of everything. Alison Drennan there with 10 with Michaela Can. They're the next best. Ella Roberts there was 7 there for the Eagles. Who else have we got down there? Stacey Livingston there with 5 for the Pies, and we'll keep going down. You can follow your favourite player from your team, or if there's someone you might like there, you can see how their stats are appearing up until half-time here in this fantastic game between Collingwood and the West Coast Eagles. I think it's at IKON Park, wasn't it? There we go. All single goal scorers for the match so far. And, of course, Eliza James and Imogen Barnett there. The only single goal scorers for the Pies. They all came in the first quarter. And, of course, Jess Hoskins, Kelly Gibson, Amy Franklin, the single goal scorers there for the West Coast Eagles, just for the fantasy points. If you're playing that game, Sarah Rowe tops the table there with 56. Hoskins there with 45. Frederick, 45. 47 for Hosking, 45 for Frederick. Gibson, 43. 41 for Barnett. Lewis, 40. And the rest under that. Let's go and have a look at the team stats, which I think will have pretty much leveled themselves up by now, with West Coast having most of the play in that second quarter. Sort of mirror imaged the first quarter where the Pies had the control of the game. The Eagles in the second, 101-95, only 6 disposals the difference now. Well, they're pretty well 59-68. That's the Eagles by 9 there. And of course, it's the Pies by 15 on the handball still, picking it up a little bit. But now both inside 50s, as you can see. West Coast Eagles certainly had their chance in that quarter, and they capitalised on that when they went forward inside their forward 50. 14 inside 50s for both teams now. Of course, Collingwood still only the 3 scoring shots, where the West Coast Eagles 6 scoring shots for the inside 50. 57, 65, the disposal efficiency point needs to pick that up a little bit. As do their inside 50. Free kicks, pretty level there, 12-11. Let's just head down and hear a few words from Daisy Pearce, the coach of the West Coast Eagles, and we'll get back to the stats.
I was a very competitive player.
Onto her right boot, gets good traction on the football, and Melbourne are into another grand final.
I definitely, am a competitive coach as well. I just love that feeling of feeling like you're all in with a lot of other people and that you belong to something bigger than yourself. The longer I was out of the game, it became even more clear to me that I wanted to be in the fire, so to speak. So we've tried to put a lot of method behind our contest work and spend a lot of focus in that part, but also just the mindset, giving your all, competing at all costs. The big successes or the things you really strive for in footy, they come as a result of just mounting those little wins that sometimes only you can see. I feel really privileged to coach all of our players, but yeah, we do have some great young talent. I think the art of coaching is putting up structure around them, but then allowing their strengths to shine. Jess Wrench has been an awesome addition to the team as well. She's incredibly resilient, she's competitive. Yeah, I've been enjoying life as a head coach. There's never a dull moment, and I'm learning every day. Makes me respect the coaches that I've had even more. But yeah, loving it. I found it really rewarding, and I'm really lucky to work with a great group of players that are really driven and have great support around me.
Well,
Pierce effect has the AFLW world buzzing. At halftime, they lead Collingwood by 8 points here, and there are 2 records up for grabs for the Eagles tonight. They have never won more than 2 games in a single AFLW season, and they've never had back-to-back wins, and they're in a pretty good position at halftime here at IKON Park. Jess Webster, Charlotte Curtis and Bonnie Toogood, they hit the lead.
Yeah, when Collingwood are in a contest, they're looking really strong, getting the ball from the inside to the outside, and that was really prolific in that first quarter. West Coast started to arm wrestle momentum, let's say, and once the ball is in an uncontested situation where they're finding short kicks and hit-ups and finding people in more time and space, they were really able to turn the tide and get some really good looks on goal.
Yeah, absolutely, Bon. And I love their composure, and you can see them really thinking their way through. We spoke about it in that second quarter, so I really like the way they changed the pace of play, and Franklin getting on the end of a really lovely chain of footy there, and to finish fantastic footy from the Eagles.
It's pretty entertaining contest here tonight, as we just saw in our Chemist Warehouse halftime highlights. Let's speak a little bit about Bella Lewis, who's played a really, really great role for West Coast tonight. 13 disposals and 3 clearances, a couple of tackles, 3 inside 50s. Well, we know she's a star, but she's really showing her worth tonight.
Yeah, love what Bella Lewis does. It's not that many years ago that we were just talking about her as a kid, but she's now she's a really important player in that midfield, and the whole team more broadly from a leadership perspective. So already the 13 disposals tonight, she's gained 200 metres, 8 contested possessions in that 13, and she's just really standing up in key moments, and love what she does. Her work rate, outstanding.
Really loving what she's doing with her kicks inside 50 as well. They're really composed and hitting up targets and then being really dangerous. So it's really showing how her development's been going and that maturity in her play, and particularly around her leadership as well.
So West Coast is searching for the 3rd win of 2024. They lead at halftime by 8 points. A massive second half to come. We'll have some news on Bree Davey as well on the other side of the break. West Coast by 8 points at halftime. We'll see you soon.
All right, while they're just on a break, let's go back to the team stats where we left off. Of course, it was the free kicks, 12-11. The Pies have just got one more free kick. Pretty much season's average, so the umpire's not going too bad. Girls keeping the tackles reasonably clean there. The hit-outs, the Pies in front there, 25-11. The clearances, 19-13. Centre clearances, 4-1. Stoppage clearances, 15-12. Pies dominating in the clearances, but not really taking all that advantage for their effort, especially in that second quarter. Contested possessions, Pies up 61-48. Uncontested though, Eagles got back up on top in that second quarter. Both teams turning the ball over 22 times there, and of course possession time in match. As I said, it was the Pies in the first quarter, the Eagles in the second quarter. Well, as I said, mirror image, 40%. Both teams have had in possession of the ball for the game. The marks, Eagles a little bit stronger there. 21-15 to the Eagles, 4-3. Inside 50 marks. Contested marks, 3-2. Here we go. As I said, West Coast Eagles haven't won any more than 2 games in any season, so they're looking to stretch that tonight. Tackles, 41-31. Plenty of tackles being laid there tonight. Tackles inside 50. Eagles picking their mojo up and intensity there in the second quarter, getting themselves up into 9 tackles inside 50 to the Collingwood's 11. We have a look at the 1%ers, 17-12, both doing reasonably well, and both have used 26 out of their 60 interchanges. Going to try and eat something. No worries, Paul. Try and eat some ice cream or something like that. Something nice and mushy, or some soup, ice cream, something like that after the day at the dentist. That is for sure. That's always the best thing to eat after the dentist. I tell you what, there's not many people love going to the dentist, but when you got to get there, unfortunately, sometimes you've just got to get there. I always think to myself when I go to the dentist, don't worry too much, because at the end of it, it'll be all over. It's just try to get through that piece. But yeah, never very pleasant. All right, folks, We'll be back in just a moment when the commentators come back on, and we'll take you back down to them.
Springfield, will the defending premier continue their run, or can the Dogs cause a big upset? Make sure you tune in tomorrow night and every night for that matter until October 13. AFLW is played every day except for Mondays. Here we are at IKON Park at halftime. West Coast by 8 points, but let's get straight down to Bryony Dawson on the boundary. Bryony, what can you tell us about Bree Davey?
Well, I can tell you it's certainly not good news, Jess. Bree Davey has been ruled out for the rest of the game with concussion, so they'll really struggle with that news there. But better news for Amy Franklin from West Coast. Her hand is all good. She's doesn't have a huge injury there, so she's back out and playing. But yeah, bad news. Bree Davey out with concussion.
And thanks so much, Bryony. And that is a massive loss, Charlotte Curtis and Bonnie Toogood, because not only will Bree Davey miss the rest of this match, she'll actually miss the next two with concussion protocols. That is a huge loss to Collingwood.
It really is, and they're already a team that's been depleted, but not from a leadership perspective, and that's huge. She's such a great leader, as we've spoken about in the broadcast already, but I'm really intrigued to see now how the likes of Sarah Rowe, Michaela can help bolster that midfield during this without Bree.
So due to the 12-day concussion protocols, Bree will miss the game against Western Bulldogs on Sunday, Gold Coast next Friday night. They're already without Britt Benici tonight as well, amongst a whole lot of injury concerns. Charlotte Curtis is no way around it. They're up against it tonight. But the good news is they're only 8 points behind on the scoreboard. So we've still got a big second half of footy to come.
Yeah, absolutely. And after Bree went down, they certainly fought out the back half of that last quarter really well. So, you know, there's opportunity here for the younger players to step up. People get an opportunity in a role they don't normally play in, and sometimes that's all you need. You just need a door to open for you, and you can show people what you've got.
Second half, let's do this, make some noise!
So second half about to get underway here at IKON Park. It was the Pies by 6 points at quarter time. They kicked the first 2 goals of the game. West Coast have hit back with the next 3. Slicer into the middle for the Pies, trying to win the footy for her team. Toe poke forward. Porter will come out to meet it. Couldn't take it with her. Goes in again. Ball is held to her and the umpire will call for it. Might be the scoring end down this end. Pies had the run of it in the first quarter. West Coast dominated that second term. Britain broken up by Frederick. Lakay goes in. Slicer couldn't find a boot. Weston hacks it out of there. Bouncing footy down the line. Atkinson running a tackle on Roberts. So who are you looking to stand up here for the Pies? We mentioned the likes of Sarah Rowe, Michaela Can. They probably need contributors all around the park as Campbell goes in again.
We spoke about Slasher going into the middle, and I think that's a really good option as well. Just be really offensive. You know, trust their backs to get the work done and just get some one-on-one coverage, but then put your really dangerous, most experienced players around the ball. Slicer can certainly do that.
And it's going to be key for them to take their opportunities when they get them. And here's a big one here. Grace Campbell getting a 50-metre penalty, and she's within scoring range.
She's also someone that you look to as well in the back end of that half. Grace Campbell moved into the midfield, so she's going to be really important too.
She'll look to pass it off here, but again, this Eagles defence read the ball so well. Intercept grab taken by Britton. Wrench back to Britton. They link up by hand. Swanson had a fumble, allows Porter to come in. A great follow-up tackle, and has been rewarded. An advantage is paid, so the Eagles are away off half-back. Wrench, long bomb down the line. Lunging effort from Ivy. Eagles come up with it. Weston couldn't take it with her. Ball to be won in the middle of the ground. Can. Looping that handball over the top to Barnett. Had a fumble, but regathers. Slips the Lewis tackle. Kick a little ill-directed. Swanson, though, dropped the mark she perhaps should have taken. Has time to regather. To Britton, back to Swanson. Out wide for Roberts and Atkinson. Roberts follows up at ground level. Moves so well through traffic. Kick up in the Franklin direction. Had to turn spoiler. LeKay paddles it on. DiGiannato, knocked up by Blair, gets the handball out to Weston. Eagles move it inside forward, 50. Coming through, Weston had a slight fumble. Now she battles with Livingston. And Blair kicks to space. Rowe will run onto this. She'll soccer it off the ground. Eagles are well set. Gibson first there. Look out. Campbell comes. He knocks her off the footing, but Drennan sends them back inside forward, 50. Franklin has coughed it up. The kick out of the pack from Wakeford is out of play.
They are just under the pump, the Collingwood defenders at the moment. It seems that there's a wall outside of D50 for them, and it's just filled with West Coast players, hence why they're able to get these repeat inside 50s.
If you've just joined us, Brie Davey ruled out of the rest of the game with concussion. So Pies are one down in this second half. And it's a high free kick to the Eagles.
And that's where, I guess in situations like this too, Bonnie, where you're under the pump, you're under pressure, you don't start to think very clearly, you make silly little errors like that. Those kind of free kicks shouldn't be given away that close to goal. And that just comes out of just that constant pressure. And now the Eagles just constantly turning up at the contest, putting their head over the footy, being first to the ball. They're able to elicit those free kicks and those unforced errors, and they get these kind of shots in front of goal.
Jess Hosking kicked a goal from similar range and distance in the opening quarter. Makes no mistake, the Eagles extend their lead.
As Shiloh said, just come in at the contest, head over the football really strong and just fighting and scrapping inside 50, as well as just mounting the pressure on the Collingwood defenders. And when you get repeat inside 50s, when there's immense forward pressure, these little slip-ups and free kicks are given away. And Jess Hosking slotted the goal from the spot she did similarly in the first quarter.
The Eagles with the first goal of the second half through Jess Hosking, who's kicked a couple. Equals her personal best, which she also had in the first round. 2 goals in round 1, 2 goals here.
Really love the evolution of Jess's game, just moving from that sort of running outside player. Now she's playing as a marking forward. It's quite an amazing transformation.
Drennan to Roberts. Delivers to half forward to a contest. Lewis. Tackle by Atkinson.
We heard from Daisy Pearce earlier about what she wanted from them was about pressure and work rate. And if we're going to say that anything's defined the way that the Eagles have played this first part of this quarter, absolutely those two things.
Swanson boot to ball, not the required distance. Taylor, Roberts underneath it, showing good courage. Spears it to half forward.
And these players like that come out of work rate.
Bucker looking for an option in the pocket. Goes in the Franklin direction, knocked away from her. And have a ball up.
As a forward, and seeing Ella Roberts outside 50, kicking inside 50 just makes your eyes light up.
And her eyes actually are lighting up right now over on the ground.
Wakeford scrubs it forward, Livingston in best position. Outside defensive 50 towards the boundary line. It's going to be a last touch rule.
And those kind of errors there, just unforced errors, that's a pressure error and fatigue, just constantly under pressure, those deep defenders for Collingwood tonight.
Smith. Beautiful kick and lead from Roberts.
How's the leading pattern, Bon, across that forward unit? They're just patient and they wait and they work hard, create the separation, spot them up.
Kick into the pocket. Another repeat stoppage.
They're very patient with their approach. Even then, Ella Roberts took her time to wait for the lead to come by Franklin and just created a contest.
Wait for trying to throw a boot at it. And it's a holding free kick going to Frederick.
And that demands work, like it demands movement and it demands effort of your forwards. I'm not going to kick it until you work to get some separation.
He's trying to exit the defensive half, but there's Eagles pressure. Just locking it in their forward half at the moment. Roberts trying to keep it alive, just brushes off Frederick. How's the confidence from the young player? Looking to hit a target inside forward 50. Lewis did really well. Then she wanted the free kick. The umpire called play on. Now we've got a ball up.
The inside 50 entries this quarter, 6-2 in favour of West Coast Eagles. But they've been deep entries and they haven't really left the forward half.
Lewis locking things up. They'll get another stoppage here, the Eagles inside forward 50. Livingston has a couple to beat Gibson.
And that work rate you're speaking about, Shyla, you saw it in that contest just there. It was 3 West Coast players to 2 Collingwood players, and they just keep working for each other and outnumbering to help each other win the contest.
Frederick and Wakefer. Roberts went without it. And Taylor bombs it out of there. Wakefer to Swanson. And pass put a teammate under pressure in Di Donato. Drennan looking for Smith, just too hot with the handball. It's going to be a lasso free kick to Collingwood. Porter. Kick down the line to a contest. Swanson, is that a free kick? Umpire called play on. She's got the handball out. And now it's a holding free kick going the way of West Coast. So Collingwood just can't get it past halfway at the moment. Gooch.
Just had 3 disposals in the forward half this quarter, the Pies.
This is Smith. Called to play on now. Pass to Lewis. It's been everywhere tonight.
Again, there's just really slow build-up, just picking their way through, waiting for the separation to arrive.
Over the head of Franklin. Cronin. Now Slasher. Frederick. Franklin. Close to the line. Tackled by Brazali. Ivy. Going to have a ball in.
The other thing that does too, Bon, is it forces the opposition to go really one-on-one and be really reactive to what they're doing. So even if West Coast don't retain the footy, they make it a 50-50 ball. It's kind of broken down the offensive structure of the opposition. So really nice slow build-up, forcing the one-on-ones around the ground.
Frederick wins the tap. Wrench coming through. She'll tackle without it. Yes. Got a fan club, I think, here tonight, Wrench. She'll send it inside 50 to a dangerous position. Frederick in best position in front. Lewis at ground level. Tackle by Livingston. High contact. It's going to be a free kick.
And that's going the way of West Coast. They've got another shot in front of goal.
So just see the replay there. Just ran straight into Livingston. So Bella Lewis And we're right behind this kick for 2 in a row to start the third. Straight as an arrow.
We've spoken about it so much already with timing forward half just builds pressure for the opposition defenders, and we've seen it a few times now throughout this game where free kicks have been given purely because of the stress that the backs have been under, but then West Coast's ability to be up for the fight and put their head over the football like Bella Lewis did just then, and then get the free kick and kick truly. She's been very impressive this game.
So West Coast extend their lead. The Collingwood kicked the first 2 goals of the game. It's been all the Eagles since then. They've kicked the last 5 of the game, and they now lead by 20 points.
Collingwood just had 15 disposals this quarter. West Coast, 40.
If you've just joined us, Brie Davey ruled out at halftime with concussion. And a big loss to the Pies. She'll miss the next 2 matches. Porter sends them forward. What can they manufacture here? Gooch close to the line. I'm happy to see that one over. So this is a big opportunity for the Pies. They've got a forward 50 stoppage. They haven't had much time in their forward half at all.
Just their third inside 50 for the quarter. They've been very shallow.
It's going to be a free kick going the way of the Eagles to Beth Schilling. Isaac Star nominee of week 2. To Smith. Now to Wrench. Bombs it down the line. And that's a good kick too. Cleaver finds some space in front of the interchange gates. Wheels inboard. Give a little direct to Can made a contest. Comes away with Drennan. Hooks it around the corner. Roberts with composure finds Di Donato. It's a downfield free kick. Made her debut last week. Pokes that into the path of Weston. Great job, Cronin. But even better job done by Weston, who bangs it towards goal. It's away to the right.
West Coast seem to be finding so much space at the moment. When you've been defending for minutes upon minutes upon minutes, you start to break down, and West Coast have been able to do that to Collingwood at the moment.
Drennan into the pocket, bouncing in front of Weston.
Just even a moment ago where Di Donato is sitting out in the back flank there, on the forward flank there, just holding her width, holding her space. Sarah Rowe collapsed the structure a little bit. They had a loose one then as a result. They were able to get it to her, and they went forward just by going out far wide, holding their structure, being really well disciplined. Daisy's got them really well positioned, well drilled.
Wafer, Slasher, sharked it. Kick smothered. Slasher goes in again to Taylor, under pressure. Hurry kick around the corner. Rowe has got some work to do. A great kick off the boot. Porter, although good gather at ground level. Blair, great job done by Wrench. Rowe kicks it towards the boundary line. How will the umpires see this? Well, it's a last free kick anyway. Free kick to West Coast.
It's not a bad decision though, just to be able to get the ball further upfield. That gives them some time to reset their defensive structure, gives them a bit of a breather as well. Wasn't a bad decision, professional free kick.
Schilling sends it back in the arc. Roberts couldn't complete the mark. They are under all sorts of pressure, Collingwood at the moment. You feel like they're just hanging on a little bit. The lead is 21 points. Still plenty of game time left on the clock, but West Coast outfit and their pressure tonight has been impressive. Slasher slips the tackle, bangs it into the middle of the ground. Barnett knocked away from her. Whistle on play, free kick for high contact. Can they move it forward quickly here, the Pies? They've got an open forward 50 to work with. Barnett bombs it long. James, and she had a few to beat if she just held on the mark. But at least they've got a forward 50 stoppage as a result.
It's a nice fast breaking play there. Really smart.
Barnett against Schilling. Wrench. Thomas. Oh, good work. Rowe. Halves the battle and then forces a stoppage. 2 minutes to go in the third quarter here. 2 goals to nothing to the Eagles so far. Can Collingwood get one against the grain? They've got a free kick here in the ruck contest, going the way of Barnett. Kicked her first goal in the AFLW in the first quarter. She hit a target. Long kick to full forward. They all go up at the back. Gooch received from Smith. Tackler, she kicked to Frederick. Boot to ball. A wonderful smother on the goal line by Smith. Still comes up to the Pies. Blair's kick around the corner. Smith again. Last line of defence.
I reckon Daisy will be showing that one, that smother at training this week. So in the review, it was fantastic work rate. It was a sure goal.
Amazing stuff. To Swanson. It's around Frederick. Kicks to a one-on-one. Wakefer against Taylor. And it's going to be a last touch free kick to the Eagles. Final minute of play here in the third term. Pies by 6 at quarter time. West Coast by 8 at half time. They've extended their lead with 2 goals to none here in the third. History beckons for them tonight. If they can get the win, it'll be their third win of the season, the most they've ever had in a single AFLW season. Campbell sends the Pies forward, sends an Eddie underneath it, just couldn't complete the mark. Thomas out wide for Lakay to Wakefer. Under pressure, Weston squeezes a kick out into space. Lakay turns tougher.
Just the numbers of West Coast squad just around that contest. Every time the ball hits the deck, 3, 2, 3, 4 West Coast players there first.
Lewis can't break free.
Showing how much pressure they're putting on as well. Even that mark that was dropped by Cincinnati, it probably should have been a mark, but because of the perceived pressure that West Coast have put on Collingwood, unable to complete those easier marks.
Yeah, you can see she was waiting, bracing, wasn't she?
Locker screws the kick around the corner to half forward. Gibson has some space out the back on Cronin. Oh, bright young defenders for the Pies. Gibson comes up with it. Toe pokes it forward and they got him after a cleaver. Really well done from Gibson, close to the line.
She's done some really smart stuff tonight, I should say.
So Georgie Cleaver will have a kick after the 3-quarter time siren to stretch the margin beyond 4 goals at the last break. The 19-year-old picked number 39 in last year's draft. Former AFL Academy member and also a member of the Australian Under-19 netball team. This will be her first goal of the AFLW. Doesn't quite get good connection, and that is how to balance on the full. But it is a promising lead to West Coast at 3-quarter time. They kick 2 goals to none in the third quarter. They lead by 21 points as we turn for home. Will they rewrite the history books today with their first ever back-to-back win? West Coast 5-4-34, leading Collingwood 2-1-13.
All right, 3-quarter time. Yeah, it's the Eagles by 21. Who would imagine that after quarter time? The Eagles have done a fantastic job. These past 2 quarters, they've really pressed. They've had most of the play down their end. As the commentator said, Collingwood struggled to get it back over halfway and even into their forward 50. They had one chance down there to snare a goal, but it was well smothered by the Eagles player. And, of course, the Eagles putting on 2 goals, 1 in that third term. And, of course, the Magpies, well, they haven't scored since quarter time. That's what we're seeing here at the moment. Definitely does look like the Eagles are dominating. Their forward line seems to be working well, the Eagles, leading up well, hitting their targets and getting shots on goal. So, there we go. The Eagles have kicked the last 5 goals in this game and look good. Set for making history tonight are the West Coast Eagles. Never won any more than 2 games in a season. Looking for their 3rd win tonight. Let's just have a little bit of a look now at the leading disposal getter on the ground, as we always do, quarter by quarter. And, of course, Alison Drennan there for the West Coast Eagles, leading the way with 17 disposals. She's had 8 kicks, 9 handballs. She's had a couple of marks and tackles, doing it well. Of course, as you see, the leading 2 possession getters are West Coast Eagles. 15 for Isabel Lewis, 12 kicks, 3 handballs, 2 marks, 3 tackles. There we go. The best for the Pies still Sarah Rowe on 14 with 13 kicks. Michaela Can there with 13. She's had 3 kicks, 9 handballs and 10 tackles. So she's putting in her work rate really well there with the 10 tackles coming up. Lauren Walker there, 7 there for the Eagles. Alana Porter there was 7 for the Pies. As we continue to go down a little bit. Final quarter coming up in just a few minutes' time. I think there's only about a 5-minute break in between first and second and the third and final quarter. Let's just check out the goal scorers. And of course, the goal scorers, we have only one multiple goal scorer on the ground this evening. And of course, that is Jess Hosking from the West Coast Eagles. Doing it well. Isabel Lewis, Kelly Gibson, Amy Franklin are the other single goal scorers there for the West Coast Eagles. And, of course, for the Magpies, Eliza James and Imogen Barnett, of course, they came in the first quarter. Let's quickly fall down the team stats. And if you can have a look at it, remember the team stats where the Magpies were in front of quarter time. Look at this at 3/4 time. Eagles starting to dominate the disposal, the possession on the ground. About 28 up now. What's that, about 18 kicks. Handballs are all square. Inside 50s dominating now by the Eagles. 25 inside 50 for 9 scoring shots. Doing well. Of course, the Magpies 18 only for 3 scoring shots. Free kicks, pretty similar. 16 to 18. A couple of dubious ones there to the Eagles. But nonetheless, they're there. 36-17, of course, the Magpies leading the way in the hitouts, but obviously not going to their way. I forget the word. There we go. That's all right. The Marks Eagles dominating there, 32-16, doubling the Magpies in the marking department, even in marks inside 50. 6-3, all Eagles. All right, folks, let's head back down to the commentators, and they will take us into the action for the final quarter here, where it's the Eagles by 21 points. Bless me.
Showing us all what she's made of in season 2024. The young West Coast star playing a starring role tonight in this Eagles side. They lead by 21 points at the final change. Jess Webster, Bonnie Toogood and Shiloh Curtis with you in commentary, but might head downstairs to the boundary. Bryony Dawson has a very special guest with them.
I do have a very special guest here. He's not paying any attention to me. Darcy Moore, Collingwood men's captain. Mate, how are you feeling about Tuesday night footy?
Yeah, it's interesting, that's for sure. The 5th women's game ever on a Tuesday night. But look, the Magpie fans turned up, and hopefully the girls can get over the line.
You see it being adopted into the men's, mate. How would you feel about playing on a Tuesday night?
I don't know how I'd feel about Tuesday night footy, seeing as my uni seminar just finished at about 6:30, so I don't think I'd be able to make it. So yeah.
You'd have to put it on hold a little bit. Now, I'm going to ask you, if you were 21 points down in the men's game, what would be your 3/4 time pump up to get your team across the line against West Coast?
Bryony, we've got some secret sauce actually down at the Magpies.
The pickle juice?
And the girls have been drinking from it all pre-season. So the work's done. So look out for a trademark Collingwood comeback in the next 20 minutes.
Oh, we hope to see it. Thanks, Darcy.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Great stuff downstairs, Bryony, with Collingwood captain Darcy Moore. And the work is ahead of the Pies in this final quarter. They're down by 21 points.
Good on him from getting out of the uni down the road and just walking up the street, coming and watching Tuesday night footy.
Love that. Why not? Beautiful conditions here tonight. Big final quarter to come. West Coast have been impressive tonight, and so far this season they beat Richmond by a point in the opening round. They lost to Essendon Yulma Bonnie in round 2 by 16 points, but came back and beat the Bulldogs by 11 points last week, and Thursday night footy, I think it was, at Whitten Oval. And this will be the third win in season 2024, as we've mentioned throughout the call. They never won more than 2 games in a season before. It'll be a huge result for the footy club.
Yeah, absolutely. And just another step forward in their build. They've been in the competition, of course, for such a long time now. Just really nice to see them playing, I guess, a brand of footy that you can see there's real method in it. It's very disciplined. They're committed to it. They're playing to their structures, and it's diverse. You know, it's got fast play, it's got slow play, it's got, you know, open, free-flowing handball type game. It's a kick mark game. But what I really love is just the work rate that's being applied by the West Coast Eagles. I don't think we've ever seen a West Coast Eagles team, Bon, who's played with this level of discipline and work rate and contested footy, you know, and be able to string that together over a number of quarters. It's fantastic to see.
I think that's the key there, Shiloh, is that they have always been a real contested side, but to be able to do it across 4 quarters, we're seeing that more and more, and that just shows the development, the maturity in this team.
I already feel like 3-4 games into the season, you kind of know what you're going to get from them now, which is what I'm saying is a really good, honest performance, structured, disciplined, and it feels very team-oriented. It doesn't feel like one player in particular is trying to do their own thing. Everyone seems like they've bought in to the game plan, and they're choosing to execute it. It's fantastic.
So free kick paid against Collingwood for a throw. Ali Drennan look for a target. One bit longer, full forward. Wakeford made a contest. We'll get a ball up. So a big test coming for West Coast on Sunday. They host the Brisbane Lions over there in the West. That'll be a great measure of where they're at.
I reckon if you're West Coast right now, you'd be licking your lips, I reckon, at the opportunity to play against Brisbane Lions, to see where your game plan and your execution is really at.
Chance for Roberts. Snaps towards full forward. Ivy against Franklin. Franklin gets the hand pass out to Cleaver. Is this a moment to get her first goal? Just makes connection with her boot. Livingston went without it. Weston trying to break free. Can't do so.
Those moments will come for Cleaver. She's getting in really good spots to have those opportunities and potential shots on goal.
Rowe against Britain. Going nowhere. Of course, it is an opportunity for the Eagles against Brisbane, who will come off a 4-day break. They host Western Bulldogs tomorrow night before heading over to the West, so you never know.
It's a 4-day break and a travel over West. That's big.
Campbell attacked the contest hard, but it's going to be a free kick against Hosking too. 2 players who never take a backward step.
Absolutely not. You wouldn't want to be in the middle of that contest.
Does Jess have the distance in it?
She's a goal-kicking machine nowadays, probably.
Well, she's playing full of confidence, so why not have a crack at it?
Absolutely.
2 goals tonight. She's never kicked 3 in a game.
So good to see her game just go to another level. Of course, her and her twin sister, they've never spent more than 3 weeks apart. So it's been an interesting transition for them. And look, it's working for Jess.
The former Blue, the former Tiger, runs in board to give herself a little bit of extra distance right to the line. Roberts at ground level goes in again. Atkinson wraps her up. Is almost a dangerous tackle. I think we're going to have a ball up. Ball squirts out to Weston. Stripped of it. Frederick. Again, battled hard tonight for the Pies. To Swanson. Curls it around the corner to the top of the square. A big pack forms. Franklin. Couple of goes at it. Roberts. Hands to it. Porter. Hurried kick. Barnett underneath it. Couldn't take the mark. Now Drennan. Brought to ground by Allen.
That's a good result for Collingwood. The backs were under the pump for a good while there.
It's a pass player. I think it might be Barnett coming to the bench. We'll get Bryony to have a look at that. Meanwhile, play continues. Allen. LeKay coming through. Porter. Ball to be won here on the wing. Britton set upon immediately. Allen goes in. Can head over the footy. And gets high contact from the non-controlling umpire.
She fights hard, doesn't she? Can. Tough character.
Nicknamed the ball for a reason. Handballs to Rowe, who was run down. It affected the kick. Great work from Weston. Frederick keeps it moving. Morris. Lewis comes through, sends it back the other way, gets past Franklin. Now a chance for Wakefer. Ivy breaks it up for the Pies. Bombs it into the centre. Smith will be first there for the Eagles. Thomas, great job by Eliza James.
Well, she left her player then, had to affect the contest, make sure the tackle stuck.
Still searching for our first score here in the final quarter. Pies work it forward. Smith went without it. Campbell. Great tackle by Bucker it was. Gibson can't break free. So good intensity shown by Collingwood to start this final quarter. Undermanned in 2024, they lost Bree Davey at halftime to concussion. Up against it tonight, Porter. Stripped to the footy, Swanson. Di Donato. And that'll be a free kick. Great job by Ramos. Pretty crowded forward 50. Kicks it to the top of the square. Sansonetti, the target. Free kick, advantage paid as Campbell runs into an open goal and they break the drought, the Pies.
Well, that was a goal just through work rate and effort and just willing yourself over the line. They slowly tracked the footy back. They've been under all sorts of pressure, the Magpies, but when they got the forward 50 entry, it's really good to see them put lots of numbers around the contest, be able to try and extract the football, and they're able to elicit the free kick with the set shot inside the forward 50. The free kick came, and then of course Grace Campbell, she's a sneaky one, she knows how to find those goals, got the advantage, got to goal to her name.
Their first goal since the opening quarter to Grace Campbell. It breaks a run of 5 in a row to West Coast Eagles, and it brings the margin back to 15 points, Bonnie, and there's still plenty of time left on the clock.
Yeah, I think that was really good passage of play. They just got contest after contest, but edging their way up this broadside side wing and were able to get that goal off just, as Charlo said, pure work rate and just keeping it inside their forward 50.
Atkinson comes through, wrapped up by Hosking.
And it's hard to think, if you think about how dominant they've been all game, West Coast, and that Collingwood hasn't scored since that first quarter. They're only 2.5 goals behind, and there's still 10 minutes to go.
Hosking over the footy. The umpire calls for a ball up. Let's get down to Bridie Dawson on the boundary.
Yeah, we just saw Imogen Barnett run off a few minutes ago holding onto her hand. It doesn't look like anything too serious. She just got it quickly strapped up, and I reckon she'll be out there very soon.
Slasher had a fumble at the crucial moment, then was tackled by Drennan, and that's a free kick for holding the ball. That must have been the story of the night. We've just seen some drop marks and fumbles at crucial moments for the Pies.
One thing that'll be in the Pies' minds is I'll go back to round one after West Coast had dominated Richmond all game, and then they let Richmond back into the game. They almost lost the game. So the Pies will have that in their mind.
Thomas up to half forward, looking for Roberts. Breaks the tackle. Kick is smothered. Great job by Slasher. Free kick for holding the ball. Emma Swanson. And the experienced heads here in this Eagles lineup. Bombs it long. Livingston, great one-on-one. 7.5 to go here in the final quarter. 15 points the margin. The Pies have the only goal of the final quarter. Livingston bangs it as long as she can. And they win the 50-50 ball in the middle of the Pies. Slasher wrapped up. Frederick against LeKay. Frederick has just been immense again. I mean, her 2024 season has been one of the positives for Collingwood.
Absolutely, the move into the ruck has been fantastic. Her work rate around the ground exceptional. She's worked super hard to get to deep defence, being the goalkeeper at times tonight. We've seen her on the last line of defence there, but just her work rate and just her willing her team over, to keep getting to every contest. Her voice is huge. Her leadership is huge. So having her at the source is just so important, particularly for the younger players that are moving through that space at the moment. Just putting her body on the line, just clash after clash. She's super strong. Likes her ruck and roll every game.
Jess Hosking sends the Eagles forward. Slasher soccers it along the ground. Ball to be won here. Simmons taps it forward. Roberts skies it to half forward. Big contest coming up. Gets out the back. Cronin towards Cairns. He's paid the mark. Need to get a wriggle on the pies. 6 minutes to go. Down the line of a contest. Hosking playing in front. Play on's the call. Drennan, one of the new recruits for the Eagles this year. Down the line. Franklin out to meet it. Kick out wide. It's marked by Britton. This has been a feature of the game tonight. Just finding the best option. Here's Lewis. Into the pocket. Cronin hands to it, no mark. Backed out of there by Ivy. Almost a mark to Sansonetti. Hosking. Again, head over the footy, comes away of Porter. Allen trying to slip the tackle, took him on, and was caught holding the ball.
A number of times the Pies have hand passed to someone who's got 1, 2, 3 players on them, just little short, dinky hand passes. Not a hand pass to get themselves out of trouble, just giving themselves more trouble, and they keep turning the football over that way. That's just pressure from the Eagles.
Britton to a contest. Pies have the numbers. Slasher turns tackler on Hosking. Can trying to feed it out, can't do so. Another repeat stoppage. Frederick wins the tap. Comes away of Weston, squeezes a kick to the top of the square, almost a mark to Wakefer. And there's a free kick for high contact. There's an Eagles player on the deck. And it looks like it'll be Ella Roberts to take the free and ice the game for the West Coast Eagles.
There was just a tack on the football then in the congestion and the commotion of that hurried ball inside forward 50. Just again elicited the error from the opposition. Went down lower and harder. Nothing intentional there.
18 disposals and 8 tackles, 5 inside 50s tonight for Ella Roberts. Continues to grow in this competition in her 3rd season. And she maybe would want that kick back. We never see a kick like that from Ella Roberts.
Might be a fatigue free kick. Maybe it's a leather poisoning free kick because she's had that much of it tonight.
Livingston just straight down the corridor. Excellent kick marked by Morris.
Get heavy legs in the last minutes of the game, Bond. You try and have set shots for goal. Not easy being a forward, is it?
It's not easy, and the work rate that Ella Roberts has done tonight, you can understand that she has a kick like that at the end of the game.
When you think about the work that's done, I guess, to create those opportunities in front of goal, what we don't see generally on your screens, and you only really see it when you're at a game live, it's just how much work gets done up and down the field by everyone to be able to get those opportunities in front of goal. Just so much work gets done. Of course, fatigue will be a factor across the next 4 weeks in the AFLW with games every night of the week except for Mondays. Monday, of course, we get a rest day.
So Smith at half-back for the Eagles. West Coast by 16 into the final 2 minutes here at IKON Park. That kick flirting with the boundary line, marked just inside the field of play. Sells a bit of candy and then turns it over.
What I've loved, though, by the Eagles is their ability to force Collingwood to defend.
Slasher gets around Wakefer. High kick into the centre of the ground. Porter trying to break free. Off to Morris, who ran into a brick wall in Hosking. Gosh, she puts her body on the line every single time. Swanson hits Lewis. And now it opens up for the Eagles. Di Donato on the outer side. Has a Paddock on the outer wing. The bounce didn't come back to her. Has time to regather. Wobbles the kick out to Gibson, who's alone at half forward. Di Donato kept running. Now into the pocket in the Roberts direction against Cronin. It kills the contest.
Well, the 3 efforts there by Di Donato. A little bit of a tired kick, you're thinking there, but I love the fact that she got up, finished up her work, got another kick, brought the footy back inside 50. Just a lovely player, another player in the making for the West Coast Eagles. Hails from South Bendigo.
Is it time for one late goal here to the Eagles? Just the one goal scored in this final quarter to the Pies. Free kick here. It's a dangerous kick. Looking for Allen, knocked away from her. Spills down to Drennan, who got some high contact.
I guess if you're looking for positives to the Pies, this is, I mean, we've still got another 30 seconds and the ball's inside the Eagles' 50, but the Pies at this point have won this quarter. A goal to one behind. So that's a real positive for them. Undermanned. They've really worked super hard in this last quarter. They're +3 in the tackle count. It's -2 in the contested footy count. They've just fought it out. The Eagles been superb.
To put icing on the cake, Ali Drennan comes in. It won't have the journey. Stays alive. Lewis almost tackled over by Campbell. It's a new era at the West Coast Eagles and a new record for Daisy Pearce and the club. The first time they've won back-to-back games in the AFLW and the first time they've won 3 games in a single season. They get the job done over the Pies by 17 points. Well, it was Collingwood who started out of the blocks wonderfully. They kicked the opening 2 goals of the game inside the first 5 minutes to Eliza James and Imogen Barnett, who kicked her first goal in the AFLW. They got one late in the first quarter. The Pies led by 6 at quarter time. West Coast turned the tables in the second. They led by 8 points at half time. They kicked 5 in a row to open up a 21-point lead at 3/4 time. Collingwood with the only goal of the last quarter. West Coast by 17 points. Their 3rd win of the season against Richmond, Western Bulldogs, and now Collingwood ahead of a massive clash against the premiership contender Brisbane on Sunday at home. But a lot to like about this West Coast Eagles side led by the inspirational D's premiership captain Daisy Pearce, breaking new records in season 2024. Charlotte Curtis and Bryony Dawson, Bonnie Tuga. We're going to get to Bryony in a moment, but really impressive win by the West Coast Eagles.
Yeah, really exciting for the Eagles just to get a really good 4-quarter performance on the park. I really, again, as we said in the call, we really like, I guess, their structure, their method, their discipline, and I thought their performance is really honest. Fantastic effort.
Let's now get down to Bryony Dawson on the boundary, who has Jess Hosking with them.
Just having a chat down here with Hosco. It's all vibes down here, mate. What a great win. How are you feeling?
Yeah, really good. It's nice to get 2 on the road, and the girls have spent a week together, and up and about together, but 2 wins on the trot is pretty good.
First time it's ever been done.
History, which is nice.
Now, for you personally, you look like you are absolutely loving your footy at the moment. It's really showing.
I am. It's funny what happens when you're having fun, and I finally found a bit of enjoyment again in footy and outside life, and I'm just loving it over in Perth, and we've got such an amazing club and such amazing people there, and we're just having so much fun.
You got a pretty straight kick on you too, mate. Another 2 goals tonight.
Yeah, we'll go with that. It was set up by other people, so I'll give credit to everyone else.
Credit to the girls. Credit to the girls. What else I wanted? The work rate. Like, you guys are just off the chart. Everything is set up so well. You're putting so much pressure in the contest. Has that been the focus, like just that work rate and just going and going?
It has pressure, hunt, work rate, and a lot of selfless acts. If we do selfless acts, we reward them.
Yeah.
And so you see girls that want to do smothers and girls that want to run the extra yards, because we'll actually reward that, and that's what we're celebrating. So
we'll let you run the extra yards now. Get over and sing the song, mate.
Right, good to see you.
Great job to Bryony and Jess Hosking downstairs. And Bonnie, I guess we love the young talent that is in this Eagles lineup, but players and recruits like Jess Hosking are also playing a really amazing role. So as Jess Hosking joins the group on the win in West Coast by 17 points.
Refinance is approved. Congrats on me.
All right, there we go, folks. It was the Eagles, the Battle of the Birds. The West Coast Eagles were the ones that flew the highest, 5-6-36, defeating the Magpies, 3-1-19. The one good thing for the Pies, well, they did win the first quarter and the last quarter, just kicking the 1 goal in the last quarter to the Eagles 2 behind. But it was a tough game, a well undermanned, underwoman team for the Magpies. And, of course, the West Coast Eagles creating history tonight, scoring their first time, 2 wins on the trot and 3 wins in the season. So congratulations to the West Coast Eagles. They did it well. So next week for the Pies, it's going to be pretty tough. Coming up against the reigning premiers in the Brisbane Lions. It's going to be tough. I tell you what, that is going to be a tough one for them, and that comes up. Oh, they did say next week, but I think actually next week Collingwood have got the Bulldogs coming up on Sunday. But tomorrow night's game, we've got the Brisbane Lions taking on the Western Bulldogs. 7:15 Melbourne time, AFLW action. We're sticking around all week for the girls' football. Should be fantastic. Let's just head over now and see the player stats there. Who ended up with the disposal checklist? And of course, that was Alison Drennan, 25 for the West Coast Eagles. 14 kicks, 11 handballs, 2 marks, 4 tackles. Oh, she was clear by 6 from Ella Roberts, who did a fantastic job there for the Eagles with 15 kicks. Isabel Lewis also on 19. Jay Britton on 18. The top 4 coming from the West Coast Eagles. Sarah Rowe led the way for the Magpies with 16, 15 kicks, 1 handball, 2 marks, 10 tackles. And we will just roll down the table. Sabrina Frederick there with 13. Let's keep going down. Kelly Gibson there with 9. Jessica Ranch with 8 there for the Eagles. Grace Campbell there for the Pies got 8 possessions on the evening. Amy Franklin for the Eagles got 6. 4 kicks. She did not too bad, kicking 1 goal, 1. There are your stats for your favourite players. Let's go up and have a look at the goal scorers on tonight's match. And, of course, the goal scorers, we only had the 1 multiple goal scorer there. And, of course, that was Jess Hosking from the West Coast Eagles, who kicked 2 from her 7 kicks. Isabel Lewis, Kelly Gibson, Amy Franklin were the other single goal scorers there. And, of course, for the Magpies, it was Eliza James, Grace Campbell and Imogen Barnett were the single goal scorers there for the Pies. Sarah Rowe and Serena Frederick topped the table on 89 points in the fantasy points. And, of course, the disposals, let's go and have a look at the team stats where it was the Eagles by 49. Of course, about 37 kicks ahead, 12 handballs ahead, inside 50s. Well, after quarter time, The Eagles just dominated that. It was 32-22 inside 50s to the Eagles. Disposal efficiency, pretty good there for the Eagles at 60%. A little bit low there for the Maggies, but the inside efficiency for the Eagles, pretty good also at 43. Pies, extremely low there at 22. Need to lift their act a little bit. Free kicks, 20-26. There we go, not much difference there. The hit-outs, the Magpies, well and truly on top there, but not to advantage on those hit-outs. The clearances, 37-28 to the Pies. Centre clearances, 7-2 to the Pies. 30-26 stoppage clearance, as I said. Pies on top in the clearances and the hit-outs, but not taking advantage to that. Contested possession, all pretty even. Uncontested, the Eagles by 47 there, dominated the loose possession around there. Turnovers, 52-43, a little bit more pressure coming from the Eagles there. And of course, the Eagles taking the big grabs a little bit more there, more than doubling the Magpies, 21-45. Inside 50 marks, Eagles found their targets a little bit better there as well, 6-3. Let's go and have a look at the defensive tackles. Both teams brought their good pressure there tonight, 85-70, 15 more tackles to the Magpies. Even though with that pressure, West Coast were just a little bit too clean with the ball. Just a little bit too classy on the evening. Tackles inside 50 were still both pretty good for the girls, 14 and 20. They did a good job in their tackles. There we go. There is another wrap game for week 4, round 4 in the AFLW football season for the girls. Fantastic. It was the Eagles, 5-6-36, defeating the Magpies 3-1-19. It was the Eagles, the Battle of the Birds. The Eagles by 17 points tonight. All right, folks, that's about all I got for this game tonight. Don't forget, tomorrow night, we'll be back on about 7:10 Melbourne time. AFLW action once again with the Brisbane Lions taking on the Western Bulldogs. That should be a pretty good game with the reigning premiers playing the Western Bulldogs. It should be an interesting game, let's say that. All right, folks, thanks everyone for coming in. Thanks, B, for games over there in the Philippines for the holidays. Good stuff. Geez, I wish I was there. I miss the Philippines. It's been a while since I've been there, probably 6 months. Hope to get back there, not too far away. Blake Water, supporter, thanks for coming in. Good on you, Ryan, Taddy, Eagles Rock. Good on you, Paul, Addy G, everyone else. Mr. Tranquilio, thanks, brother. Good to see you as always. Riley will be happy with the Go Eagles. Of course, everyone else. Unfortunately for Halfwit, myself and Paul, a couple of others there, the Magpies just didn't get the job done. Thanks, Carly, for coming in early. And of course, thanks, Al's Adventure Vlogs. Your team's going to be playing this Friday night. Don't forget, folks, we've got the big game Friday night and then Saturday afternoon. Sydney take on Port Adelaide in the preliminary final of the men's AFL. And of course, on Saturday afternoon, it's Geelong taking on the Brisbane Lions. Preliminary final. Should be an absolute ripper. 2 games there coming up. But don't forget, tomorrow night, folks, AFLW action, where we're going to cover the Brisbane Lions and the Western Bulldogs. But for me, that's all we got for this game down at IKON Park there in Melbourne. It was the Eagles too strong over the Magpies by 17 points. Ciao for now, folks, and we'll see you in the next live.